Can you tell when it's safe to cross the street? Blind people listen carefully for changes in traffic to know when it's safe to step out into the street. But it might be nice to have a little help.
The dog is able to look and see if there are any turning cars or cars that are not where you'd expect them to be, and either refuse to cross the street or kind of walk, Allan, let's go, or from beside me he could kind of put his body in front of me and help push me back away from the danger.
And guide dogs can do more than this.
He can help find stairways, ramps, elevators, doors into buildings. If I were starting out from home and I lived in town and I walked to work, I could say, Allan, let's head to work. And if I had repeatedly told him that and taught him what that meant, then he can really do a lot of the route by himself.
Meet Allan and his trainer, Kristen McLuhan. Allan is one of over 800 puppies now in training with Guide Dogs for the Blind, an organization based in San Rafael, California, that started in 1942 to donate dogs to blinded World War II vets. Kristen is one of the organization's 1,400 volunteer puppy trainers. Allan is her 8th puppy.
I've always loved dogs, and I couldn't have dogs growing up because my sister was allergic to them. So I spent a lot of time walking, training, teaching tricks to all the neighbors' dogs.
Guide Dogs selectively breeds Labs, yellow and black, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, and Lab Golden Crosses for this work.
What they are looking for is the right kind of character, the talent for guiding, the physical stability and personality stability that they need for a guide.
Allan and his classmates are elites put on a puppy program for the gifted, but they are still puppies. Allan came to Kristen's home at 2 months and will be with her about a year. So what do guide dog pups like Allan learn in their first year?
Depends on the age. And we work into things slowly so that they're not overwhelmed. You know, there's certain places we don't take them when they're young. But eventually the goal is that they walk quietly at my side while I'm in a store or wherever I'm traveling, and that if I stop, he stops next to me and waits quietly until I move on. In public, Allan should be doing basically what he's doing now. He should be, if I'm seated, he should be laying as much out of the way as possible, quietly and patiently, and not licking floor or trying to chew on anything. At work, he comes to work, and he's already really good at a lot of this stuff. He comes to work and I tell him to kennel, which is our command for going into any small space. So it can mean go into your crate, it can mean go under this table. We use it when they get into the car. So I tell him to kennel and he goes under the table right next to my desk, and I put him on his tie down, which is kind of an 18-inch approximately vinyl covered wire with 2 clips at each end. And he's under there and hangs out and takes a nap while I work. No, it's never a normal puppy life. I mean, they get to play and they get to have all the good puppy stuff, but from day one they potty only on leash, and we start that whole process of training them to relieve on command. He never just plays free outside. He's always on leash or in a secure fenced yard, and even in the secure fenced yard he only plays with supervision, and he doesn't play with pet dogs. They don't eat anything except their own dog food from their bowl when we give a command that it's okay, because we want them to learn not to be eating food off the floor in restaurants, not to be taking food out of little toddler hands in the mall. They We don't play ball. We don't play fetch. Never loose in an unsecured area. We don't go to dog parks.
Does Kristen ever feel bad that Allan won't have a normal pet dog life?
No. Heck, my dogs stay at home in the house all day long by themselves, and Allan gets to go all over the place. No, I think he's got a pretty good deal, and he still gets to play and chew on bones and do all the normal dog puppy stuff. So I think his life is as good, if not maybe better, than a lot of pet dog lives. And he seems to like it just fine.
When Allan leaves Kristen, he'll head off to 4 to 5 months of intensive training at the San Rafael campus, followed by 28 days of training with the blind person that he'll be matched up with. But along the way, a whole host of potential problems could make Allan one of the 50% who become guide dog school dropouts.
It doesn't matter how good the trainer is, if the dog's not cut out for the work, it's probably not going to work. And you could probably have a dog who really would have done well with the work, and someone's not dedicated or not following the right protocol or is kind of making their own decisions, and then they end up ruining the dog for the work. Sometimes really smart dogs do a little too much thinking about stuff, and some of them end up making their own decisions when their partner has told them something else. Some of them just find life a little too interesting and come up with neat ideas of what they could do next that aren't necessarily in the plan. Or they just don't, some of them just don't like it. So they're not going to force a dog to do something when they're clearly not enjoying the process.
So how can you tell if a dog likes it or not?
They usually don't do very well with the work and with the training.
One of Kristen's pups was just too high energy.
So he just couldn't concentrate at all, and he was always just had to be moving. And I kept telling my advisor, I think you're telling me to, train an artist to be a lawyer here, and it's just not going to work. And he went on to do search and rescue training and ski juring with somebody up in Anchorage and was happy as a clam. So there was stuff he could do, it just wasn't this.
How's Allan doing?
He's doing well. He's a pretty mellow boy. He plays and he's really cheerful and goofy, but he's probably the easiest pup I've had yet. He's responsive and a little bit sensitive, and
Allan's only problem may be his legs.
he's a little bit cowhocked, which means his back elbows kind of turn in and his back feet kind of toe out like a ballerina or something. And
It means Allan won't be selected to breed. But otherwise, it may not interfere with his future as a guide dog.
yeah, he's a pretty solid guy, so he just goes all over the place and goes with the flow.
When it's time for Allan to leave and go to the next step of training, it won't be easy for Kristen.
But I always have a hard time sending him back. I bawl and I get a new pup right away, so I'm kind of distracted by the new pup. But it actually takes me a little longer to bond with the new pup because I'm still missing the last one.
But the end result is worth it.
To do it. And the difference between when we send these dogs back as pretty mature pups, ready for training, and when they graduate from the program with their person is just dramatic. You send back this dog who really still does have maybe some puppy traits, and they turn into this mature, confident, serious, taking care of my person sort of dog, and it's a really neat thing to see.